Welcome, entrepreneurs. Today, we're going to be focusing on how to build the systems based on the goals we have selected. But I will also maybe just try to zoom in on why maybe previously there was an emphasis on physical health in terms of fitness and health. And I will play a recording for about 33 minutes. And then I will also, maybe we can discuss one example, and we will do a bit of checking up and checking in right now. I will start with you, Tennyson. How has it been going? What's working? What's not working for you?
Good morning, sis, and good morning, colleagues.
Good morning.
Hope you all are well and on this cold day.
It is so cold. Is it cold throughout the country? Where are you, Tennyson?
I'm in the Fourways area.
Oh, you're in Joburg. Okay, I also stay in Fourways. I'm in Howick right now in the Midlands. It's freezing.
Yeah, but people from KZN cannot understand this weather. I was with my partner who's based in KZN yesterday. And to him, this is like too much. This is like unacceptable. But when it rained last night, in my head, I was clear I'm not going to go out this morning. Because I'm normally out around 10 to 6.
Running.
6. Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. We shall share the run next time when I'm
yes. No. yes.
Great, Tennyson. So, how is it going?
It's going. So it's going tough, but it's going. So if you remember the group session that we had last time where I cried, where you made me cry, I'll still repeat that. I am at a stage where as much as the business was running, but I am running at a huge loss. Where the business is, we only are trying to pay the employees, and us as employers, as I said, in the 26 months of COVID, I think I've only earned an income 9 months of that. So close to about 15, 16 months, I have not earned an income, to a point where I'm in the process of started new businesses to sustain me. So in terms of my own personal goal, based on everything else that we've discussed and your guidance and whatever, I've had to face up with the fact that where I am currently investing my energies is not good for both my sanity, for my family, and my health. So my one goal says to generate revenue to sustain myself, the business, and other operational expenses. And in brackets, I've said to break even in the next 6 to 12 months. Purely because I'm now having to refocus and move my focus away to where I had been investing my energies. So all I need at the moment in the next 6 to 12 months is to break even. But I need to earn an income, because not to sound bad, I'm even about to lose my house.
So the issues that I was raising last time are really serious in nature.
No, for me, they are serious. So part of the role that when we started the company 2017, I was running as the managing director of the company, obviously running everything. And in the last 2 years with COVID, I've moved on to sales and marketing, because that's really my background, and running around trying to generate an income. But you then are trying to run around when you are not able to run around. So if you think about level 5, you're supposed to be running around, but you are indoors.
Yeah.
this is a new role. You're dealing with construction, so you need to be out in the field. So you can't be sitting and just calling people. That is not enough. You're trying to break a company into a new industry. You need to be meeting with people, but you couldn't. So what I'm saying, my efforts of trying to market this business have led to me continuously spending money on petrol, phone calls, and whatever, but I am not earning anything. As a result, it is impacting on my health, my family, and everything. So I've had to face up to the fact and say to the guys, I cannot do this anymore.
Yeah. It was just a matter of time, though. So don't be too harsh on yourself. It was just a matter of time, because it was meant to get to that point. But then maybe just go back and figure out remember what I said, that you just analyze how you got there, but also what are you going to do differently so that the lesson is learned. And then and forgive yourself and pull up your socks and figure out other ways and move on, right? It is what it is.
My big belief is I am where I am as one of the chosen few, in a sense that somebody once said, you have to be crazy to be an entrepreneur.
Definitely. That
not
is
normal people.
Not
it's not normal people.
Yeah.
So me trying to pick myself up is, I don't want to say it's a common thing, but it is what is expected of an entrepreneur. You fall, you rise up, you tint yourself, as they say, about you as tint, about you tint yourself, and you move on again.
Definitely. So
coming into this
maybe
space,
before you get into that, what tools do you have that helps you to get up quicker, that get you inspired, that get you, so maybe just also dust up those tools and put them closer to you, create a routine to get your mindset right. And I think because you've already achieved so much when it comes to physical, your mindset is ready for this. Actually, you've never been more ready for a new venture or for new ideas as of now.
So the number of tools, like you say, so at a physical level, so at a health level, I think I am strong enough. And the fact that I have learned, and I think I've shared this with a number of people in the last session, to say, it's not about the big steps, it's about the one step. So what I've learned from my running, I do, like I said, an average of about 80 kilometers a month. But how I do that, I do it in chunks of 3 and 4 kilometers. I try to go out 15 to 20 times. So it's not about the 10 kilometers that I ran, which I can run, but it's about the 3 adding up to one another, realizing that it is the small chunks. So when I say my goal is to break even, it's realizing that I'm not going to, in 1 month, break even, but it's going to be a build up. Some of the other lessons that I take with me is over the years in me running the operations and running whatever, I have increased my management skills, financial skills, in recognizing what needs to be done. I build Excel models that help me to understand that it is the R1 and the R1 adding up to make up a R5, not the R5 which I'm looking for. Okay. Hence, I've set my goal to say 6 to 12 months, as opposed to say next month I want to break even, because that is not possible.
Yeah. So the patience, so you have enough tools that you are using across board with just exercising the patience. Maybe then consider having the right people in terms of the network, build up the network. And I think the part about the network, generally as entrepreneurs, I think especially as Black professionals, we don't pay enough attention into it. Whereas with our counterparts, that is how they thrive. That's how they get pulled up of the dungeons. So how is
so the
that
last
on
part,
your side?
the last part is I wanted to share in terms of my build up and the tools that I'm doing. So the second business that I'm launching, I'm now going to Uber, into the Uber business. So from 5 to 9 every day, because what that will help me to take care of. So where I was, you know, when you're struggling even with money for bread, but I know if I do the 5 or 6 hours of Uber, first thing in the morning and last thing in the evening, at the end of the day, I will have a 200 rands in my pocket. Then I don't have to stress about the bread and the milk, because that's what in the last 3 months I've been stressing about. And as I take care of the bread and the milk, then I get to take care of the next day, because then my stress around the bread and the milk is no longer an issue.
Yeah.
It's well
You
taken
can
care of.
focus on the bigger issues.
Yes, yes. And that's how I intend to schedule my day. I'm already up as it is at 5 o'clock. So instead of me going for a run, I will then get on and start working. I will do my runs, my jogs sometime during the course of the day. I just need to restructure my days, but I accept that I need to work longer, and I accept that for this period, I need to work harder. It may not be about smartness, but it may be about harder. But I know where I'm trying to get to.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. So we always learn so much from you. We appreciate you. We also see the resilience. You know, I think one of the biggest personality of success and characteristics is resilience, and that's one thing for sure. But also consistency. Thank you for teaching us that. Mpho.
Mornings is precious.
Ninja.
I'm good. I can't complain much.
Great.
I'm in Rustenburg, so the cold is not the same as KZN and Joburg. So we are in a nice weather here. It's a bit coldish than normal, but it's bearable.
Great.
I just wanted to say thanks to Tennyson for sharing, because that is the truth of entrepreneurship that you rarely hear about. And for him to, put himself out there, with his vulnerability, I mean, that's more than bold. And because as entrepreneurs, we don't like to share things like this. And I just wanted to say, one of the tools that maybe Tennyson could also consider is cutting your losses as early as possible. Sometimes we tend to be in denial. I've been in those shoes where I would, take the cash flow runway and use it to sustain overheads. And my message is that if it is clear that there is no income in the next coming month or 2 or 3, the law provides you to do layoffs, temporary retrenchment, not permanent retrenchments, for example, and preserve that cash flow to help you hunt and generate revenue rather than just to sustain overheads. I've had to, I ran out of runway and had to retrench over, 100 employees and even retrench myself. And I had to earn UIF for more than a year. Well, UIF doesn't go for more than a year, but I had to earn UIF because of that situation where that situation gets that bad. But the lesson from there is cut your losses as early as possible. Let's not be in denial, because as entrepreneurs, we are in love with our business and the idea, and it's difficult to accept that this is not going to, it might not bear fruit in the next coming couple of months. And also, I liked your question on the strategy about accountability. If you have somebody that is outside and maybe gives you some input, they are able to be brutal and tell you, Mpho, this is not going to happen. Just cut your losses. And that accountability or a sounding board can help you to also make those decisions that you can see, but you are not yet bold enough to make. But I mean, already what Tennyson is already doing, I think he's on the right track to be able to turn the ship. And like you said, in terms of character, he's there. I heard him saying he wakes up at 5. I couldn't hear what the time is. I wake up at 2. When I wake up at 3, I feel guilty. I'm too late. 2 is my standard time. And my fear is I don't want to run out of cash or run out of income. So I will catch a good night's sleep once or twice a week, or when I'm confident that there's enough revenue coming through consistently on a monthly basis to sustain me even if something happens. So that fear keeps me fueled, and I sleep 4 hours, 3 hours a night. The 8-hour thing is once or twice a week. So yeah, you're on the right track, and just hang in there, you'll get there. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mpho. Thank you. Lots of love indeed. Emma Gwagola. Oh, yes, he did say he can't hear. He's not in the right space. I will do a backup. I forgot. Itumeleng. Oh, Tennyson, come through.
Good morning.
Hi, Itumeleng. 1 second. I didn't see that Tyson has his hand up. Let me take
Good.
Oh my line is so bad.
Yeah, network is bad everywhere. I think mine also is picking up on a bad side.
When it's cold, the electricity also struggles, then the network, and then everything just falls apart. Try again, sis.
Yeah, so briefly, I just wanted to say thank you, Mpho. Mukhayetu. I was actually in Rustenburg over the weekend. But what I request to do, I'm just going to briefly say to the whole team, but Mpho, I will take up a conversation with you on the side. So as I was saying, that the manufacturing operation, I am leaving it to run. But to sustain myself and keep myself sane, hence I'm starting the second business that will give me daily cash for me to take care of myself and my household. The manufacturing business, I'm supporting and managing a contract. So at this stage, I feel I can't turn my back on it immediately, but that's a conversation I will have with you, Mpho, but also maybe Sis Pri, given time, I will also come back to you just to try and give more detail. But thank you very much, Mpho. Thank you, sir.
Great. Okay, we're gonna move on. So guys, I'm gonna play, I found on the previous group session, the group coaching that I did, I was repeating myself over and over. So I thought some of it I will put in as a recording, and some of it we will then do it live. So I will play the recording. It's about 33 odd minutes or shorter than that. And then, yeah, okay. And then let's discuss afterwards and pick up what are we going to change and how are we going. And I think it's just being gentle with yourself and just work on 1 or 2, 3 things, then working on a lot of things at the same time. Don't get yourself overwhelmed. So give me a second. I'm just going to open it. Okay. Okay, 1 second. Okay. It seems like I'm missing something here. I'm missing the chat. Okay. Sharing this on this thing sometimes can be tricky. So I need to find it first on mine. Okay. Let's do this, copy. And yeah. Entrepreneurs, just hold on 1 second for me. I'm just still trying to get it on. Please hold on 1 second. Okay, there we go. Technology sometimes okay. I move as fast as possible. So please stop me if I am okay. It seems like I'm missing something here. I'm missing the title. Oh, there we go. Welcome. This is component number 1 for Finance Success Program within the program, which is Built to Last, is component number 1. It's an additional information. Just for those that just want to make sure that setting goals is never, ever going to be a problem, but focusing also on building up the systems around the goals, because we can all agree that setting up the goal is the easiest, is the nice part. The hard part is building up systems that are going to make sure that you achieve the goals that you have set. So last session we really focused on physical. It ended up feeling as though it's about weight loss, but I also then felt other entrepreneurs were disconnected with it because their goals was never health and physical. Their goals was really more about, I want to make more money. I want to actually have more clients. So I kind of felt when we are running the workshop, the group sessions, I will start with this and emphasize on it, why the physical is the most important goal. And I know you guys have already chosen what is yours. That's okay. Have that, which means if you've already had one which was not physical, you're going to need to add it in. Because even if you do not need to lose weight, you still need to actually do the physical part in terms of fitness. So you're going to need to actually check, am I healthy and fit? And that is important. And I'm going to show to you why that is important. So the benefit of exercise and physical health really reduces the risk of health diseases. It helps you to actually strengthen your muscles and your bones, but also it reduces your type 2 diabetic risk by 50%. It also helps you, obviously, to help to control the weight, but it improves your sleep. It also improves your energy. You see, as an entrepreneur, that's one thing you need is energy. It's always going and don't stop. And only rest, obviously, strategically. Even once a week resting, that should be fine, because you're going to be physically healthy and fit. It also helps with dementia in terms of brain, and it also helps you to prevent cognitive decline. And that we need as entrepreneurs to always be alert. Why this is also very important, I think one of my coaches, Stephen, designed this life mastery blueprint, where he speaks about goal and mind, purpose, which is why, the body, and the vision, which is what, the spirit. Please Google him, Life Mastery, that is the product. His name is Stephen. He has really taught me things that I struggle with. And I think because I was poor when I grew up, money and financial stability and security, I went with the Maslow. Maslow says you must have security, you must have food, da, da, da. And as I was reading it, I realized that as much as Maslow has been used in so many times, he doesn't have the best method. He doesn't have the best approach on how we should be prioritizing our lives and how we should be prioritizing our goals. And for me, after having listened to and attended so many workshops by Stephen, he is available on YouTube. I will include his link, his channel on this on the description on YouTube when I load this. You will really get to understand and really see the link. I only picked up this link very late. But what he suggests is that you need your vitality, you need your well-being, you need your energy. When that has been sorted, you will then move to changing your mind and how your mind and your thought work, including your beliefs and your mindset and your mentality. And that will also assist you to sort out issues relating to your emotional state, your feelings, how your emotional intelligence actually is getting worked up, but this will be fed by your energy, with your health and your fitness. What I have found about health and fitness for me has been, it gave me confidence. I had better self-esteem. I also had a clarity of mind, how my brain was functioning. I hardly have a brain fog, not unless I'm really tired. It also assisted me with boosting my self-concept, which I'm going to explain to you just now what that does mean. So it boosted my image. I also started improving the sleep because I was eating right and I was exercising. And most of the time, it didn't need to be a 2-hour session. And in most instances, just a minimum of 20 minutes exercise, just movement, just flexibility, and so on. And that helped me also with my energy. And I did see it even improving my emotions. So you're finding someone feeling down, you should be asking them, have you moved? Have you tried to actually jump, do 10 jumping jacks? So for like my kids, when I see that they have been visited by a depression bug, they're feeling down, I just tell them, do 10 jumping jacks, go and run, go and grab a glass of water, and so on. All the physiology, the movement, somehow disrupt how we actually process information, how we then think, but it also allows us to be able to really have an awareness of what is actually going on. So because I had a more stable emotion, I also saw that my productivity improved. Whereas at the beginning of my entrepreneurship, when things were not going well, like maybe I didn't get the client I wanted or the meeting didn't go so well, the following day, I literally did not want to wake up. I will just say, I don't want to wake up, I just want to sleep. Because it is difficult, our platform, it is difficult to actually press through when it comes to this. So I think that would also help, because the more stable you are on your emotions, the more also you're going to be stable in your productivity and follow through on your things that you need to do. So please have a look at Stephen, where I will include his best presentation based on his channel. So let's talk more detail about what do I mean about self-concept, which is also called self-perception. Well, how does that affect how we are and how we do things? So what I have found was the self-concept improved because my self-image, how I saw myself, also had improved. My self-worth also did improve. I charged what I was worth into the market because I valued myself. I also valued how I actually contribute to the world. But it also helped me to boost my confidence in who I wanted to be and how I wanted to be seen. And that, I think, is important.
Excuse me, Sis P.
Really, self-concept has 3 dimensions. It has to do with the self-esteem, how one judge them. Yes, go ahead. I've just paused it.
Sorry, Sis P. One of the things, a very important point in your first slide that I think we're missing, or maybe it's missing in that first slide, I don't know. What I found with your health and exercising and whatever, the one point that it also helps you to connect with is both your inner and your outer side at both a personal and physiological and spiritual level. It's obviously there's a deeper explanation behind that, but I think it's one point that you may need to add on that. Because when you're out there, as you get the confidence, it's almost like you even connect nedlozi lakho, nonkulunkulu wakho, and everything else. Because remember, you once said
that making sense.
Yeah, because you once said with some of the things that we do, we are not ourselves. We have been bestowed with a power. We are running a race. We are fulfilling a purpose. So in you being able to fall and get up, it is also those forces that are pushing you.
Did we lose him? Oh. Paul, did we lose him? Tyson, I can see that he's talking, but I can't hear him. Tyson, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. I don't know if ever you heard my last part, my passionate part.
Oh no, Paul, did you hear him?
Yes, I heard him loud and clear.
Oh my goodness. Is it okay if you repeat what he said? Because I think I got disconnected and I'm recording. And so I don't know if it did come through. I think
okay, so what I was saying is that there are forces behind you that push you even when you are down to stand up. Is not always about yourself. It is those recognized seen and unseen forces behind you, and those connect in one way or the other with you, whether you like it or not.
Yes, yes. Great. Yep, that is true. Okay, good. You are right. You see, when you can have more control on yourself, have more control over what you are doing and what's happening also within your body, you somehow feel empowered to have more control in other areas in your life. Whether that will be spiritually or even in business, but you somehow, it's like you end up improving even in other areas. Great. Thank you.
Without sounding arrogant or demeaning anyone, but there is no successful drunk entrepreneur. I think as a people, we need to begin to realize what impediment does drugs and alcohol have in our success. The more time you spend drunk, the lesser you are going to be successful in anything. I mean, I've stopped drinking, by the way.
Or using external material or external instrument tools to deal with issues that you should be dealing with. The tools are within yourself, so don't look for external tools to solve the issues that are internal, basically. That's what it means. Without, I'm trying not to sound judgmental. You know, Tyson, one thing that I've learned is that everything in life can be used as a tool to deal with things. But sometimes we choose the wrong tools, like alcohol, like smoking. But even food can be a tool that we're using, but when we overdo it, that is why then we will have emotional eaters. So anything can actually be can be misused. Any tool can be misused if it's not used without cognizant of solving problems in the correct way. So the best way really, it goes back to use, if you want to change things in your life, identify things that are within your control, build your confidence from that first. And then as you try and build yourself up now, the external part, you will have already built up the good foundation on your personal development.
Hence, I said, Sissy, I agree with you. Hence, I said there is no drunk or high successful entrepreneur. I'm not saying don't drink, but I'm saying drunk.
No.
So a lot of us, we don't drink to enjoy, but we drink to get drunk.
Yes.
And that is where
get rid of a certain emotion or feeling.
Exactly.
That is internal of us. And yeah, that is so true. Great. And some of us, we use food. Okay.
Cakes for some of us.
Yeah. It also helps you, obviously. Okay, I'm gonna just why the body. As much as Maslow has, and really, I'm not sure where I was. I only picked up this link very late. But what he suggests is that can you just tell me how do we pass this? I didn't realize that I touched it and then moved to where we were.
Yes, we had passed.
Oh, are we 10 minutes, 5 minutes? Okay. I'm moving to 10 minutes. To 8.
To the next slide.
We had moved it, so we're here.
No, we're on the previous slide.
We're on the previous slide. Okay, great. Really, self-concept has 3 dimensions. It has to do with the self-esteem, how one judge themselves, which is really about feelings. And it's really about how one perceives and understand oneself. That is also a self-image. How one sees themselves also applies there. And also how one person would like to be, which is ideal self. So the ideal self really is the best self. And I realized when I was paying attention in loving myself, and I take it as a self-care, because surely I can't take care of other things. I can't take care of my customers. I can't take care of my suppliers. I can't take care of my employees until I learn to take care of myself first. And that is why this is important. That is why you have to start with your physiology, how you look. You have to love yourself so that when you are doing what you're doing, you will be doing that at that excellent level. Even if you don't have a weight problem, it's maintaining it. You gotta need to then do things that will help you physically to have this because it will help with self-esteem, self-confidence, and even just your emotions and so on. I mean, as I said, these for me were the things that I experienced when I started really taking care of myself. So we now then, I hope I have convinced you that you gotta need to prioritize your health and fitness, and then we can then move to mind and beliefs and emotions. And I will run another session. There's a book that I'm finishing off where I actually talk about beliefs, how beliefs affect how we think, how we feel, and also our actions. And I hope that will also assist you. So I will be loading those through for you. Please mute yourself, guys. Remember, we are recording. Do you have any question? Let me just stop here for now. Do you have any questions before I move on to the other one?
Ms. Precious, are you back now or are you still in the recording?
Great. Okay, I will then proceed. So I need you guys, please note this is not, we're not there, we're not doing simplified strategy yet. We are doing a strategic planning form, which is part of how to achieve goals, how to set goals and achieve them. So there is a difference. However, this is gonna help you to really get into building the systems that are gonna help you to achieve the goal that you're setting. So let's just say you have decided to make your most important goal, your second most important, and since your first has to be your health and physical and fitness. So maybe it could say increase customers. What you need then though to do is to increase customers, specify the number. I will increase customers by 20 customers or 80 customers, and try to make it over time, like 6 months to 12 months, and then you can then break it down by month. I will increase working capital, which is the money that we use for cash flow. I will increase revenue, specify how much revenue. You will also need to specify in terms of working capital, by how much, right? And then reduce expenditure. Maybe you can use a percentage there and reduce expenditure by this. So that is the goals, and you've already you are now specifying them, you are making them smart by say increase to customers to 30, increase working capital, maybe 50,000, revenue increase. A revenue increase can be in percentage, or it can be, you can just say to maybe 150,000 per month, or to 200, or maybe to 500, whatever amount it is. Then you choose one, remember, one goal. It can't be all of these. One goal for one strategic planning form. So what do we mean when we say, what do you need to do? You're gonna need to go and do a research and find out what will it take to increase the customers? What will you need to do? So Moafi has selected that she's gonna go with strategic marketing, this digital strategic plan, strategic marketing plan. So maybe on that, if what is gonna need to do, she will then say, I would do paid strategies and also organic strategies. So already she has 2 on what she's going to need to do. Maybe she then goes back and say, I'm going to go back to my old customers or to my current customers and ask them to give me some testimonials or some reference, ask them to refer me to 2 or 3 people that they know. Maybe number 4 will be, I will actually identify a new customer profile. In this case would be, for example, HR specialists or placement agencies. And I will also, the last one could be, I will identify accountants that I see on their website have not included payroll, and see if I can't be their reference when they actually get clients, because there are accountants that don't do payroll. That so maybe that can help, but also I can target certain professional bodies where I can then submit my articles, so that people that are in those professional bodies can actually know that I do personal income taxes and assist them to actually manage their taxes. So maybe those are the things, Moache, that I can think of that I can do if I was you. That is, what do you need to do? Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
Great. So you now have strategies. You now need to work out, how would you do it? So the first one was organic growth of the awareness of your customers, but also customer acquisition. So how would you do it? It might just mean I issue 2 articles. One article to my website, another article will be for, I have identified companies that publish articles relating to this topic, kind of thing. You could also find out another what to do or how to do it. You could also check, based on the software that you are using, find out if you can submit the article to the software company that does that you are using, so that you are one of the contributors to their website because you are accredited by them. That will also help, because it then is positioning you as an expert in your in the app, plus also positioning you as an expert in this industry. So that maybe is an article, but on organic, it will also be posting. Maybe I can work out 5 things that I can post about, 1 or 2 lines per day that will be posting, and in that either educating people or also just sharing the information, or it could be just a quote but relating to payroll. It could be maybe top 5 mistakes people may make when they do payroll, top 5 problems that people do when they're doing IT 12, or it could be why SARS will return or will not pay you, or it could be anything but relating to that, just to get people to be engaged and aware, and obviously also encourage them to share. It might also on this be maybe making sure that the website has a blog post that is optimized. I have clear keywords that I use even from doing the articles, but also when I am posting, so that my content is Googleable. So this I can maybe is how I will do it. But then for each of the strategy, I have to specify how will I actually do it? Okay. And when I say how would I do it, I also quantify how many of those things I would do. Okay. It's important to do that. So now I have done that. I know what I'm gonna be doing, how I'm gonna be doing. I now need to take that and say, what are the daily things that I need to do every day towards this goal? What are the routines that I'm supposed to be adopting and stick with no matter what? And those could be maybe social media posting, article writing daily. It could be 5 calls, cold calling, 5 emails to accountants, or it could be what else did I mention? So, but this I do every day. This is what I do every day. Then request. What am I gonna request? Who am I gonna request this to? Is it done or not done? So request, entrepreneurs, does not have to be, request could be, where do I need help, basically? So maybe Moakli does not know how to write an article, has never written an optimized article. She can actually then find someone who has done that and ask that person. Or she can actually, maybe she has seen someone who does social media posting. She can actually find that person if she can exchange a service or she can pay. Request is about looking within your network and saying, who do I know who can help me to achieve these actions quicker and faster? Now, for Moakli to achieve her goals, she's gonna need to change her lifestyle and routines. What are the new daily habits does she needs to have on daily basis? So daily habits for her will be retweeting stuff. Daily habits will be her making phone calls. Daily habits will be her actually having an affirmations about helping more people. Maybe it could be her having set targets that she works on daily basis, but also daily habit will be around her following up on the clients. Daily habits is things that will actually make you to become the person who's worth the goal you want to actually achieve. And then the other part she's gonna need to ask herself is that, what skills, what is the knowledge do I need to achieve this goal? And that will help. The last two that we're working on, you should be also, when you're asking yourself, what am I gonna do daily? It also means you're gonna need to ask yourself, do I need to spend time researching? Do I need to spend time networking? Because you see, if you're gonna need to do certain things on regular basis, you're gonna need to put it on a schedule. So this is slightly different than to have the daily new habit. This is now saying daily, do I take 10, 15 minutes researching and finding out my customers? What about confirming with the WhatsApp? What about confirming the services? What about me actually requesting testimonial? It's about what are the things that I can do every day that are gonna improve how I do things and think about things. So maybe on the skills and knowledge, you've already identified those. Maybe you include that as your number 3 on to do daily. I'll spend 1 hour reading about 1, 2, 3. Or I will spend 1 hour. So because skills and knowledge is really identifying it, but now putting it daily is now making sure that you are working towards improving the skill. The habits that you are doing is your routines that you need to actually do. So the stuff that you will be doing here, you will be doing daily. However, it can just be up to the point that you are feeling comfortable that you now have the skills and knowledge, you now have done sufficient research, and so that is how I will see it. And then this one, where we're talking about who are you gonna be accountable to, and that can be partners, coaches, mentors, and also mastermind groups. So any of those is fine. I mean, right now I have created a relationship with someone on Twitter that I've never met my entire life, and we are holding each other accountable. It doesn't have to be someone that you know, it can be someone you don't know, someone that you have found. The aim is that build accountability based on your personality, based on what you think and believe in relation to you knowing yourself. That is why it's also important to reflect every day. What are the things that have stopped me to achieve my goals? Did I do enough? If I didn't do enough, what can I do to improve? So that's the end of it, entrepreneurs. Are there any questions?
Okay.
Okay, I will stop here.
It's Precious.
Hey, finally, okay, now I'm back. Okay, hi. Let's then discuss on the items that I have covered on here and see how we can actually put things on into perspective. Paul, please come through.
Yes, Sis Precious, thanks for that video. I think when I was completing mine, the only section which was not clear was let me just see my document, was the request. And I thought request sounds like, what do you need to assist you in actioning the above? So I didn't do a lot there. I just put one request there, but now that you explained it, I think it's more clearer. The other sections, I think for me, they were straightforward and clear. The only one where I don't really have a next step was what are you accountable to, or maybe it's who are you accountable to? And you've just mentioned that based on your character, you just need to find something that you are accountable to. And I've realized that if it is not forced, over time, so peer-to-peer can work, but over time I find a way to wing myself out of that accountability structure. And what I tend to see working with me is if you have, like, for example, I run two entities, a PTY and an NPC. And in an NPC, you are forced to have two other directors so that you are three. So that accountability structure is almost forced. And you can't wish it away, or you can't wake up one morning and say, guys, I'm too busy. I can't give you reports. For you to continue getting your sponsors, you have to maintain that accountability structure. But in a PTY, for me, a peer mechanism, doesn't work. And I think one of my goals, or not my goals, one of the at the top, one of the strategies or the tactics is to find that kind of an accountability structure as well, because you can set goals and strategies and tactics. Along the way, you lose them, you deviate. because of that accountability. I see it as well in other entrepreneurs as well, that if there isn't, that accountability structure is not forced, a peer-to-peer mechanism, especially for startup, for a matured entrepreneur, I think it works. But for smaller startups who are still at an early stage, you know, a peer one doesn't work for everybody. Thanks.
Yes, Mpho, that is so true. But the reason why the accountability for the newly startups is because they don't understand the value it's bringing. It's not because it doesn't work. Can you imagine if we started having these from day one when we started our business? Where would we have been? Can you imagine that? So I think it's because we don't understand the value of that accountability. So just going back a little bit on requests, I think one of the biggest things that we do as entrepreneurs, we get overwhelmed by things that we are facing and the challenges, but also in building the business. And we keep quiet, we don't say much. And then people think, well, okay. The request is also really looking in your network and looking for people to help you to achieve the goal. They can come with different things, but it's just about asking for help. Pull up your hand and say, you know what, I need help. I think, I'm not sure if it was you, Mpho, or it was Tyson at the beginning, in our very first session. You guys spoke about, one of you spoke about how can we work with other people? And maybe in this request, you could actually see how you can work with others, collaborate with others. We shouldn't look at ourselves and think we can do this all by ourselves. I mean, there's a saying that we achieve more when we're a group as compared to when you're alone. You know, they say if you want to reach there running or something, but if you want to really get there quicker and faster, you will need to you need the whole community. So it's about finding a tribe, a group of different people to help you with different aspects in achieving your goal, whatever that goal is. So, and also even just reaching out, and the way of reaching out, some other instances might be just something as getting a book or something, watching a session with maybe on YouTube account over for different people. It could be even making a phone call with some entrepreneur that you know has achieved the goal that you want. So it's really about, don't sit with the problem where you're not sure or you need to confirm what, but just ask for help. Yes, Tyson, please go ahead.
Thank you, sis. I think for me, and one of the lessons coming out of this course and the conversation with other colleagues is that as a people, and to some degree, I think as men, it's like we're scared to ask. We're scared to collaborate with other people. You almost treat everyone as if he's a competitor, but even with your own competitor, you should actually have a level of conversation. But we seem to avoid all those things. And hence I say, I don't know whether is it about a people, as in the Black people, or as in entrepreneurs. We don't talk. And I think for me, the lesson coming out of this lesson, out of this course, is that of collaborating with other people, talking with other people, and learning from other people, and not being afraid to open yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Tyson. You know, the biggest lessons I have learned have not been on people outside of my network, has been from you entrepreneurs. I've been most of my life in business schools and learning and studying. I mean, I started learning about business when I was 14 years old, when I changed all my courses to be business related courses. But the stuff I have learned from you guys, you sharing your experiences and your challenges, that has helped me to figure out quite a lot of things, but also be in a journey to look for solutions and look for things that work than just having a mindset that the book said. I think we gotta need to understand that as people, you are put through in this life to actually grow yourself and grow people around you. You can only grow people around you when you share your experiences. Share your experiences, both good and bad. Why? Because it allows you to actually, it's almost like you free yourself from it, but at the same time, you're making sure that a next person doesn't go through the same thing. And that is honestly what I've learned. I generally will say, if then I didn't benefit from that mistake, somebody else has to benefit from it. And that has also made sure that what the lessons that I've learned, they get to be repeated even in my own mind, my intellectual, because sometimes when we analyze something and then we go through it over, we end up not being clear what worked, what didn't work. But by me saying it loud emphasizes what exactly is the lesson, because sometimes when things are moving too fast, we don't pick up what worked, what didn't work. So if I had a type of entrepreneurs before me who will share their lessons, who will share openly their weaknesses, who will share openly what I honestly believe would have been far, especially as Black people. Because I also know that there are certain things that do not work within the South African context. No matter how hard I try, there are certain things that do not work, but there are things also that work. So what we need to figure out is what is working, what is not working, and how can we change certain things to fit the environment that we're in. Okay, Paul, do you have anything that you want to add?
Actually making a note after what you've just what you've just said in terms of what works and what does not work. And that's also one of the things that I'm trying to do through my business. You know, we provide working capital to smaller businesses, and what we've been doing in the past 4 years is trying to develop something that works, especially in the rural areas. So you have many lenders and funders in the ecosystem and in South Africa, but they are unable to provide support to smaller businesses in underdeveloped areas. And the model of risk assessment and management is more suited to certain types of entrepreneurs. So, you know, that's one of the things that we've been trying to build as a core competency, to say, how do you support entrepreneurs who don't look like what you are looking for, but still be able to manage the risk, and without necessarily going too much into detail. I think, you know, what you've just shared now has just dropped a pin to say, I think maybe that's what one should focus on in terms of my coming strategy session as well.
Maybe let me rephrase it this way also, Paul. Remember at school, when maybe one of the kids might have asked, or a teacher asked a question, or your friends asked you a question, and you repeated what you understood by it, didn't that make you feel more comfortable that you really know what you're talking about? Or you don't know, you thought you knew though?
It still happens even now, not just at childhood level.
Yes, just remember, that was an indication that when you experience something, or when you hear something, or when you have a lesson that you have learned, for you to cement it, for you to get it, you will only be able to really get it when you repeat it to somebody else, even in your real life. I also will
100%.
make this example. I will say to people, how you are in one area of your life is how you are everywhere else. And I mean exactly that, that if at school you were skipping class, you were not finishing your homework, you will be the last person on the list because you are not applying yourself and so on. This does not mean as an entrepreneur you need to have a certificate. This does not mean you need to have something in education, but it shows you your behavior and your ability to enjoy and finish what you start. So if you were that person, you then have to change this thing around and always be on class and always be the first in, last one in, because it is a habit thing. It is a lifestyle thing. And if as you're doing it over and over and you're getting better and better, it then will improve your performance. It will also improve. It will improve how you're doing things, and you will start seeing also the result. You will also start seeing this accountability and productivity, and you will also see it in your income statement and the balance sheet, because everything at the end of the day, after all said and done, it goes down to discipline and consistency. But it also about, we are being disciplined and consistent, but you are doing the right thing. You have to do the right thing. And sometimes other people will actually have consistency and discipline, but they are not doing the right thing. And that is when also we lose out. So figure out what are the things that you need to do in your business. And that one thing or two things or three things generally should not exceed more than 5 things. The things that you need to do, those things that you need to do, then change your lifestyle around those few things and do them consistently, disciplined over time until you actually become the person who's worth that thing that you are looking for. Do not put your goals only in terms of outcome and performance, i.e. revenue. Ask yourself, what are the habits I'm gonna adopt that will help me to achieve this? And you do it over and over, daily, day in, day out. Look also how you're doing it. Look at how to improve it. Be more efficient and effective. And the more you improve on it, you're gonna find you're gonna be more efficient. You're gonna do it better, and you're also gonna actually it's gonna get more easier. You can then build up even how to automate it so that it's systematic. But figure out also how to reward yourself in doing it. And rewarding of yourself is not about money. It's about you seeing a growth into yourself. It's about you doing certain things that are again about self-care. You also taking time to rest. You also figuring out what are the things that make you happy in that process. Is anything that you guys want to add? Are you good? Should we exit? Are there any comments or action or even sharing what you are learning?
Sis Precious, can I?
Yes.
In the exercise you requested us to complete before the session, it talks about financial goals. And when you started this session, you started with wellness as one of the goals that should be at the top. And so I think maybe in terms of understanding and going forward when we do our goals planning, how do we then define this goal setting exercise? Should it be financial goals, or should it be personal and business goals, or how should we approach it?
So I think consider if you've had me and you've read through the material, you still are not sure on how to prioritize, where to start. Consider using a tool called a wheel of life, and just maybe say Tony Robbins, because that's the one that I like, that works quick and fast, where it takes about 10-15 minutes. It's about assessing in the 7 areas of your life, which areas do you feel is at the bottom of the list. You could attempt that way and do it that way, and then you start working on the things that you feel they are at the bottom of the list, so that you can have some balance. I do have also entrepreneurs that have done the wheel of life. They picked up that actually they were in areas, maybe someone will say, financially, I was actually on 7. I felt I want to get that to 10, instead of me dealing with an item that is rated at number 3. So the lower the score is, the lower it means. Why? Because that person might have felt, you know what, I want to give myself a boost. I want to start with something that is easier for me to do. Or I want to start with something that I'm closer to my goal, so that when I then move to others, I am focusing on those. I'm not focusing on the one that I'm closer to. However, I also think life is about balance. We have seen people sacrificing who they are and what they stand for focusing on just one perspective of goals. So it's really on you on how you want to do it. So maybe consider using a wheel of life to help you prioritize. But according to my request and my suggestion is that focus on your health and physical. It's gonna change your mindset, it's gonna change your beliefs, it's gonna improve your personal development. You become the person who's worth whatever that you're gonna pursue. Because health and fitness works within what is within, not with stuff that is outside or the things that are external. So, and that is what would be my suggestion. You will then see that it will improve also your relationships with people, because you're going to have a better relationship with yourself. For me, it did change. Till today, I'm still a walking journey. I'm still not there yet, but I'm getting there. I finally have a clarity of where do I need to do, how I need to do it. But it's now me doing it. At least I'm giving myself for the next 12 months to 24 months to really work on it. And once I've learned it and I've gone through it, I will then come back and share, so that I emphasize, or I make sure that I have got that lesson. That's it. I don't get tested on it again.
Thanks, it's Precious. You've actually answered my question. Wheel of life is something that I aspire to live by, even though I'm not consistent, but I'm familiar with the
tool. Tell me something
in my planning.
Yeah. So, Mpho, maybe then the other question I would like to ask you is, you said you will slack on consistency, you will not continuously be doing it. So maybe my question will be, what are you getting to, what tools are you going to put in your toolbox, so that now you are becoming aware that's the problem? What are you going to do now differently, so that you actually can persist, you can actually have a continuity in how you're doing things?
What I have in my action plan is to find maybe the people that I've been trying to work with or, you know, use as my accountability structure, they were not necessarily the right individuals, because you know, when you want to use somebody as an accountability structure, but they really are not contributing to your journey, I think maybe that's when you start realizing, there's no point in actually continuing with this relationship. So I then said, maybe it's about finding the right accountability structure before you have a formal board, for example, when you're still small. So my mission is that. And the question is, how do I find the right accountability structure? For now, I'm thinking finding a partner, somebody who shares the vision, but who is totally different to my character. Because when you are, you know, same character, you tend to affirm certain things, even if they are not necessarily correct. So I'm then on a mission to finding a partner who is almost on the same path as me, and we can find a way to work together and be each other's accountability structure, even if it means working together and not just bouncing off ideas and holding each other accountable, but actually physically being involved in each other's projects and working together, and maybe using that relationship as an accountability structure. So that is my next mission, to see if that will work.
Okay, that sounds good. Try though, Mpho, to find someone who's a little bit ahead of you in other aspects of, not someone who is exactly the same level, because you are not going to feel the value. You will only get a value if someone is a little bit ahead of you. Why? Because that person is going to challenge you. Two, you're going to also respect that person when they share with you, because they have demonstrated the trust. But also have different mechanisms. When we understand ourselves better, you can build up different mechanisms. You can start by holding yourself accountable on a daily basis, having a daily reflection, having a feedback loop on weekly basis. What are the lessons? How can I do this? How can I plan this week better? Uh, on my side, when I started having best days, best weekends, I consistently checked against, was this my best weekend? But I've already prescribed what's my best week. I've already prescribed what was my best day. And I think sometimes we say we want a best life, but we don't even know what a best week, a best day looks like. Therefore, you just are almost like in a fairy tale kind of mindset. And those are the things that we have to go deeper into. Then if you are saying, I want a accountability partner, prescribe what that will be. How will that look like? How often are you gonna actually do it? Also Google Mpho mastermind groups. Mastermind groups doesn't even need to be same industry, it can be in different industries. The person who can give you a few guide on the Jack Canfield, Napoleon Hill is the one who introduced, or maybe not introduced, but mentioned it in his book, Think and Grow Rich. And mastermind groups on how they work. You could actually even have someone once a month or once a week. You can also have accountability partners that for different goals. You don't need to have just one if you have more than one goals. So, and then over time, you can see what works, what doesn't work for you, and change it. When you change it, replace it with something else. Don't just let it go. Don't just let it go.
Thanks, sis. I'll definitely Google mastermind groups.
Perfect. Great. Okay, entrepreneurs, I think we're left with just few more minutes. Is anything else? Okay, thank you so much for your time. I will back up this. Shame Itumeleng keeps on going out and in, out. The network is quite bad. Maybe Itumeleng try to join other group. We will have one more group today. This is the 5th group. So, but also just take time, listen to other groups and see, and then maybe when finish the program, you will have a one-on-one with me. Then whatever issues that you might have missed that you don't have not been covered, we can then cover them from there. Thank you so much, team. Lots of love and take care. I will say,
you.
please keep on working on those things and build up the toolkits. Your aim is to build systems around your goal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, SSP.